and welcome to Baby Lady Podcast. I'm Debbie Homer Davis and I run the largest independent nursery store in Kent. Over this time, I've been lucky enough to meet some amazing people, and some of them have agreed to join me on our podcast. We'll have managing
on today's
directors,
edition,
CEOs,
we're chatting to Richard Bamforth. Richard is the CEO of UPPABABY, who make the most amazing push chairs, and he distributes them all over the UK. And I've known
they've
Richard
agreed to share
quite a long time, and we did manage to find out something new and exciting that's coming later this year. But you'll have to listen to the whole recording to find out what. I'm Debbie Homer Davis and welcome to my podcast, and I'm absolutely delighted to have with me today Richard Bamforth, who is the CEO of UPPABABY, who make the amazing Vista pushchair and the Cruise. We've just reviewed the Cruise today on our YouTube channel, the new Cruise 2, which we absolutely loved. Definitely a winner from them. So Richard and I have known each other quite a long time, and it's been amazing to catch up today. So welcome, Richard.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you for that welcome and introduction.
So we've known each other quite a long time. We were chatting earlier back to your days at Mamas and Papas, and you've been in the industry nearly as long as I have. I think quite a long time. You've seen lots of interesting things. So you started with UPPABABY about 12 years ago.
Yeah, we were the first country outside North America. UPPABABY is a USA brand. And the UK was the first country outside North America to actually get the brand. And it was really the start of their global expansion. So that was I took that leap of faith in early 2010. So
today we got to chat to Richard. It was amazing to catch up after such a long time, and even we haven't really had the chance to chat on Zoom. So it was great to talk to him and find out about what's new and exciting that's coming later this year from UPPABABY. So watch this space. As soon as we have more information on the new three-wheeler that will be coming, we will of course let you know via any of our normal channels, and we'll also record a video that you can see on our YouTube channel. Thanks for listening today.
You don't have a lot of the departments, particularly in terms of design and engineering, that some of the other people you've spoken to may have. So design and engineering is all done in the USA. So we don't have that here in the UK, although we have some influence on how products look and how they're marketed in the UK. And obviously there are different standards here than there are in the US, but we don't have big engineering or design teams. So yeah, it's a very lean team, and I actually think over the last 12 months it has been difficult for a lot of companies. I'm very proud of the fact that we've been able to keep everybody employed and they've been earning their normal salaries all the way through this process.
Well, people are still having babies, haven't they? They've been still having babies throughout this process. And one of the things that we chatted about on one of the earlier podcasts is that, people don't stop having babies, and babies are still, that whole period of time that people are pregnant, that's not going to change no matter what's going on in the world, even if there's a pandemic. And we've worked all the way through as well, like you, because we've needed to, we've needed to supply things. So has that affected development of product? Has it affected sort of new product coming to market?
It's certainly last year it slowed things down because there's always a lot of travel between design organizations and the factories. So our design function is in the USA, the factories are in China, and of course travel just came to a halt. So it certainly slowed the process down, but wherever they could, and we've all adopted different means of communicating, haven't we, over the last 12 or 15 months. I don't think anyone had heard of Zoom in February last year, and now it's a part of all our lives.
Well,
and so they found other ways of working. So yes, it's fair to say it did slow things down, but it hasn't stopped things.
So have you got new and exciting things in the pipeline that you can tell us about?
We have. I can't tell you too much, but there are new products coming, and that's really what keeps feeding businesses. And as you said, Debbie, you and I have been in the business a long time, and people are looking for innovation. They're looking for something new from those trusted brands. So you can't take your foot off the gas. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep bringing new products to market and refreshing your range.
I think you have to keep pushing boundaries. That's what I've discovered, is that it's important in whatever area just to keep pushing boundaries, because otherwise, if you're standing still, actually you're moving backwards. So I'm really looking forward to those. I know that you put a huge amount of effort into making sure, or the UPPABABY brand is to making sure that your products are really, really well made. And we have very, very few returns on your products. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, I think it's something that's instilled throughout the business. And obviously I know a lot of people in the US, and Bob, who founded the company only some 16, 17 years ago. Bob's an engineer at heart. He's, like me, got a long track record in the nursery business. And I think, as well as making the products functional and look nice, one thing that impressed me before I joined UPPABABY was their attention to detail and the engineering, and they do have a reputation for being a very reliable product. Now, you and I have been in this business long enough to know that pushchairs get a lot of use and abuse in their lifetime, and we perhaps don't look after them as well as we would say a new car. And one thing that UPPABABY's been very good at is staying with our customers for the duration. It's not about just selling a product and then saying, right, you're on your own from here. You know, we carry a 3-year warranty. We've got you have to deal with them. I believe is a very, very good customer service team here in the UK. It's something that's instilled within all the distributors of UPPABABY throughout the world. You've got to have a strong customer service proposition, a good spares backup, but also we've taken that a step further with our tune-up events. And it's all been part of this process of saying to people, hey, we're with you for the duration. We want these products to last, and we want them to last throughout, you know, whilst you're bringing up your family.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a bit more about the tune-up?
Yeah, unfortunately, they have been on hold during lockdown. But the tune-up events, we host them at retailers around the country. And these are promoted on social media, through our own website and through the host retailers' websites. And you book an appointment through Eventbrite. And we generally do 24 or so appointments at each event. And customers can bring their products along. We'll check them over. We'll clean them. We'll give them any advice if they've got, you know, if they want to know how to fold them. We'll also help them in terms of accessories that you might need for an older child. And customers go away, we'll replace parts there and then if we feel they're needed. And customers go with a product that's been serviced and had a safety check, and the whole service is entirely free of charge.
Well, we should definitely get involved in doing one of those when you start to do them again. That's definitely something that's up my street. We did lots of videos during lockdown, which we posted on our YouTube channel, about maintenance and how to look after things, because we knew that obviously people weren't able to come into us. So I think it is something that the customer definitely values, is the fact that we're with them and you're with them throughout that journey. And there is no doubt about it. Not only is it brilliantly made, but you were the first people to come up with this product, really, that was what we call now Futureproof, which has become a bit of a buzzword in the nursery industry when you're looking at prams, especially as a first-time parent, when you perhaps want to make an investment, but you want that investment to last you whatever life's going to throw at you. And it's very fair to say that the Vista itself will adapt to so many different family conditions. It really is a one product solution, because you can literally add on your ride on board, your extra seat to make it into a tandem. It's very, very versatile, and I think it was pretty much the first one, the industry leader, to do that.
Yeah, it was. I can remember, actually, I had this eureka moment before we started with UPPABABY. As always, when you change jobs, you're talking to people, and James, who is still the export director of UPPABABY in the States, came over and he brought a Vista with him. So this was at the end of 2009. And he said, I'm not taking it home, Richard. We met in London. He said, I'm not taking it home. He said, give me your home address. I'm going to send it to your home address. So we had a chat, and he sent this sample up to my house. And it was just a few weeks before Christmas. And it had been sat in my garage for a week unopened. And I thought, James is going to ring me soon and ask me if it's arrived and what I think about it. So I went into the garage and I opened this product up, and really for the first time got my hands on it and understood how it worked and what it did. And I can honestly say I had that eureka moment. And I thought, actually, this is really good. I can do something with this product. And that's really what made me decide to leave my previous company, which was also a stroller company, to move and start with UPPABABY and make that leap of faith.
The rest, as they say, is history.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So UPPABABY have a very special way of choosing the names of their pushchairs. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
I think you're referring to the names of the colours of the pushchairs, the names of the fabrics, rather than the pushchairs themselves.
Yes, I was. Yes.
All the fabrics. So we've got Jordan, Jake, we've had Denny's. They're all names of the children of the people who work in the UPPABABY head office in the USA.
So they have to keep producing more and more children so you can come up with different names.
Yes, and of course you do, of course, risk upsetting somebody when you drop a particular fabric that carries the name of their child.
Yeah, no longer in vogue. I've dropped your name.
But it's also interesting when I meet people from the company and they'll go, "Oh, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm Bryce's mum," and you know, they're proud that the name of their child has been chosen as the names of one of the fabrics.
Absolutely. I mean, that is something massive to be proud of, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know some other companies do name some of their products after their children as well. So I think it's a really nice touch, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, we're in the business of families, aren't we? And looking after families.
Oh, most definitely.
So it's a nice touch.
It is a nice touch. So do you have any stories or any things you want to share with the listeners?
Oh, Debbie, we talked about this beforehand. I've got lots of stories, but I'm not sure there's many that I could share. Probably without getting a solicitor's letter a week from now. But you know, it's a very friendly industry to work in, and you know, although other brands are competitors, it tends to be an industry where people move from brand to brand but stay within the industry, and you'll know that. You know, you'll have people coming to see you represented a number of different companies, and because of that, we work with each other. We're all great friends as well, you know. And there's rivalry at a business level, but I think when we have trade shows and consumer shows, there's a lot of friendship as well within the industry. Yes,
it's been a sad time not to be able to catch up with people over these, because we really do enjoy getting together. And as you say, although people are competitors, it's quite a small industry, isn't it? And I think that when you get involved in it, you do it because you love it. It's almost everybody that I've spoken to, there's been a bit of a theme going on, is that everybody is really passionate about what they do. And that seems to be, you know, to get to this level and to do what we're doing, we have to really love it. It's more than just we'll get up in the morning and go to work. It's a love rather than a job.
Yeah, and I have worked in other industries. I mean, I started my career in a very, very different industry to nursery, but once I was in, I was hooked, and I've stayed there. You know, I started my career as a graduate mechanical engineer and sold capital equipment for oil rigs, industrial adhesives, got into the nursery industry, and that's where I've stayed.
You're
can't get out.
I think that. Do you think then being involved from a sort of manufacturing in that sort of background has help the companies that you've worked with develop their products? Because you can see it from a more engineering type of background rather than just a sales background.
Yeah, and it's quite an involved industry in terms of standards and engineering. You know, there's some very strict criteria for products within the standards that we have to adhere to. And as we've touched on before, you know, products come back, we deal with repairs, service, but our aim is to eliminate the problems over a period of time. You know, if you see something rising, and yeah, I've been able to draw on my previous experience, feed that back into the engineering team, and you know, we've overcome problems through that because I've had experience of similar problems in other industries. Yeah. So yeah, it certainly ticks all the boxes for me. You know, I didn't feel disappointed going into the nursery industry after being in heavy engineering. There are similarities, and there's a lot you can draw from your previous experience.
Well, you've won a lot of Which Best Buys, and I'm assuming that the level of detailing that you go to, that's part of why you've won all these awards.
Yeah, and I think Which are really not interested in how a product looks, you know, and how pretty the fabric is. They're interested in the functionality of a product and how it works and how easy it is for the consumer to work and operate. And that's really been one of the, I think, the bedrock of UPPABABY, that they're on this mission to make products that are intuitive and easy to use, and as we said with the Vista, practical. They'll grow with your family. You know, it's an investment that you make with baby number one, but you're still hopefully using the same product when babies number 2, 3, maybe 4 come along.
So I understand that your social media is very, very active, but I've heard that one of your original customers still follows you. Is that right?
Yes, and I remember the lady as well because I was at a consumer show very early on after we'd started the company, and we hadn't even had our first delivery. So I was the only employee. So I met the lady, spoke to her, and she still follows us. I mean, her children now must be certainly 11 and 8 years old, but she still follows us and still contributes to our social media.
Oh, that's amazing. That's loyalty for you, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, and we were an unknown brand at the time. You know, the brand was starting to build in the US, but it was nowhere near as big as it is now. And they were just impressed with the product. She came with her husband, they were impressed with the product, and they weren't drawn in by, and they certainly didn't want what everybody else had got. They wanted something different. And yeah, this lady, her name still pops up frequently on our social media.
And have you had to adapt the way that you connect with customers, taking into mind all these new different methods of communicating?
Yes, I mean, for sure. And the other thing we have to bear in mind is, you know, there's many different social media channels, and you know, we know the age of our target audience at the moment. But what we have to bear in mind is who will be our target audience in 10 years' time, and which social media channels are they using at the moment?
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got one eye on the now and one eye on the future, looking at which channels your potential future customer base is using.
Well, we've got to start using TikTok then, Richard.
Yes, that's it. Yes, I think we're sometimes too dismissive of things, going, "Oh, that's for the youngsters," but yeah, they will be our customers in the next 10 years.
Definitely, absolutely. So is there anything else you can tell us about these new products that are in development? When can we expect to see them, Richard, even if you can't tell us much?
We're looking at the autumn.
Okay.
Now, as you know, we have the Vista and the Cruise at the moment, which are fall into some of the mainstream stroller categories.
Brilliant products.
But one thing about Vista is we do tend to have a very strong following in rural and semi-rural communities. I think people like the fact it's a pretty tough product, is the Vista. You know, a lot of people said, oh, you'll see the Vista and go, oh, that's in good condition. Oh yeah, I jet wash it every week. I live on a farm.
Yeah.
And what we're looking at next is something that takes us a step further into outdoor lifestyles and outdoor living.
Oh.
There's a lot of talk, obviously, of staycations.
Yeah.
And there's not many places where we're going to be lying on the beach for 2 weeks in the UK. The weather's not that good. So I think the timing is great for something that's slightly more adapted towards an outdoor lifestyle.
Ooh, does that mean it'll have 3 wheels?
Oh, you can read my mind, can't you?
Do you know what? If you make it, if it's made by UPPABABY, it's going to be a brilliant product, because there hasn't been a bad product that you've produced. So I can't wait to see that. And actually, it's really funny, because the 3-wheeler market now is actually almost it has been declining. There's been very little, you know, in our previous days, you know, when you were working at a previous company, we used to sell huge amounts, and not because they were really robust, but because it was very fashionable. It was, at one point, it was a huge fashion thing to have 3-wheelers. I think Tom Cruise made it really trendy when he was seen out running many years ago with one of his children, and everybody was getting into the 3-wheeler market, whether it was built that way or whether it just looked like that. And now actually there's very little, so it's almost like coming full circle.
It is, but you're quite right. It was a fashion thing, and we got to the point where 3-wheelers weren't really great off-road products. The small wheels, but it was just ticking a box and fitted a trend, whereas I think products that are coming to market now have got a real focus on outdoor living, you know, and we're not the only people coming back into this market. And you're quite right, it's coming back, isn't it?
Definitely.
There's been a lull for probably 10 years or so. Some people have stuck at it, but there's other brands now coming back into this market.
Oh yes, definitely. I was chatting to the head of Cybex the other day about their new products in that packaging as well. And I think, I would think this has been led by us with staycations and having to stay at home. It's almost created an extra need and more exercise and more outdoor lifestyles.
Yeah. And I think it's important that when you choose a stroller, you choose a stroller that suits your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
definitely something that I think stores like us are very, very focused on. It's not just about looking pretty. It needs to do a job. It is in effect a workhorse. It's something that's going to fit a purpose. And if you pick the right thing, it will just make your life so much easier.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Exciting new products coming. We love newness here. So if you want me to sample it and do a video, Richard, just send one over. I'll be happy to do it.
Okay, thank you.
Not going to test it out with my children, though, because they're way too big for that now. Oh, Richard, it's been absolutely fantastic to chat today. I've really appreciated you joining us. Thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge and information. And it's just been great to chat to you. It's been so long since we've all seen each other. As you said, we're so used to now all the Zooming thing, but even you and I haven't had a chance to catch up. So it's been great. Thank you.
Great, Debbie. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me along and giving me the chance to talk about UPPABABY and our products.
Oh, it's been absolutely a pleasure. Thanks so much, Richard.